r/AskReddit by Redmond Dtes. What's the wildest thing you did to get laid? We drove to her house when she realized she didn't have her house keys. Second floor. I spied a man up the outside of a brick building and went through her window and let her in. Modern problems require modern solutions. In college, classmate I wanted to bang. She wanted to bang this other guy we knew. She said she would have sex with me if I could get the other guy to join in. Just a regular male female male, no bi stuff. Nobody was drunk or high. Weird conversation with him, he agreed, we all got laid. It was fun. Everyone, especially her, got plenty of attention. Afterwards though, her dream of him being so thrilled at her talent they would start dating didn't happen. He walked her back to her dorm after, met her roommate. A week later she caught roommate and the guy banging. She blamed me, so within a few weeks we stopped talking to each other. Why it was my fault, I have no idea. I jumped out of my room's balcony, first floor, so I would not wake up my parents. Took my bicycle and rode to the other side of the city where she lived, about 10-12 kilometers distance, and entered her room by climbing to her balcony. Second floor, had an abandoned building right next to her house. All this at about 3 AM when I was 16-17 and was back at around 7 AM, just in time for waking up and get to school with my parents. Chatted up this girl from another state after meeting her at a mutual event. Found her on Facebook, talked for a bit. Eventually bought a plane ticket to go see her. She wasted no time in getting me back to her apartment and taking me to bed. She thought it was just a one night stand and was expecting me to fly home and never speak to her again. 13 years together. She said if I wanted to stick it in her, she was sticking something in me. I learned a lot about myself that night. 18 years old, she lived with her parents and I lived with mine. I put on one of her old sweaters, drove to her house, and pretended to be her gay friend from school so they would allow me in her room. I was supposed to meet her in the north of Italy, in Milan. I was living in the United Kingdom at that time. I missed my flight and only had £300 left in my bank account. I bought a flight to Naples instead, took a cab to the train station, where I had to sleep until 6 AM. I thought I wasn't gonna make it through the night with the drug dealers, homeless people, and prostitutes who flooded the area. Got on the train to Milan, where she picked me up and spent 2 nights there. After I got back, I didn't have enough money to pay the rent, but it was worth it. She was wild, and those sessions were some of the best I ever had. Traveled to another country to meet the guy in person for the first time after a year or so of video calls. Granted. Worked out so well we are married now. Agreed to let her husband watch. Same, but the husband joined. In the end I didn't even get off and got a lame hand job as the husband got tired and mostly claimed we are done because he is. Worst sex ever. The cuck cucked you? Counter cuckwise. I once flew over 1,000 miles to just get performance anxiety for the whole weekend and did not get laid. I'm from Australia. While I was touring around the United States, I met a girl in New Orleans. We got along well but nothing happened, even though I would have liked it to. I didn't make a move because she felt so far out of my league. After spending a few days together, her vacation was over and she went back home to Austin, the previous city I had visited. After texting each other a bit, I told her I wished I had made a move and she said she wished I had too. I decided to bail on a week of my vacation plans to go back to Austin and stay with her for a week. What started as me meeting a girl I thought was hot turned into a whirlwind romance. It was brief but it really was something special. At the end of the week, I departed for Australia. She died shortly thereafter when a truck jumped lanes on the highway. I'm glad I went back to Austin. So I met this girl on Tinder. Right away, she tells me she wants to do it, like, right now. No small talk, just straight to the point. So I head over to her place. When I get there, there's this guy standing outside the building. I ask him if he's there for the same reason, and he says yes. But he refuses to go upstairs. He says there's another man up there, and he doesn't want him to join, or be involved in any way. At this point, I have no idea what the hell is going on. Then she comes down. Smoking hot. She greets me and asks the other guy if he's changed his mind and wants to come up. He says no, but tells me he'll be waiting outside for me. And honestly, that made me feel a bit better. Like, if something weird happens, at least there's someone out front who knows I went in. So I go upstairs, and that's when things get truly bizarre. Turns out, there's this French guy who hired the girl, she's a sex worker, and made her this wild offer. If she could sleep with 100 men in 3 days, he'd take her to live with him in Paris. So technically, I don't even know if I got laid. It felt more like I was participating in a performance about getting laid. 10 minutes later, I walked out not having a single clue what I had just been part of. The guy was still there. He nodded, walked with me for a bit, and took me home. One of the strangest experiences I've ever had. I got saved in a Baptist church, live. I was stationed in Guam, and not that attractive, so all the studs got the girls. I met an awesome girl, and was willing to do anything to get there. She was a 23-year-old virgin. I went to Bible studies. All that stuff. One day in church, they asked if anyone wanted to be saved. Everyone had their heads down. I raised my hand. She cried with joy. Soon after we did the deed. I'm going straight to hell for that one. Sorry, Jesus. Faked a British accent for a weekend. I pretended to be the bassist of a corn tribute band called Corn on the Cob. Then we got back to hers, and she had a bass, and I don't play bass. So she asked me to play some of the hits, and I strummed an open E, complained it was out of tune, which it absolutely wasn't, and then spent the next 15 minutes tuning it, during which she fell asleep. So I let myself out. I left my number, but she never called. She called your bluff out. Was 16, and my girlfriend at the time gave me a condom for my birthday and told me I could use it anytime. Being the hormonal young adult I was, I couldn't wait. There was a snowstorm that day. We went to my local park, laid down my jacket behind a huge tree, and that's how I lost my virginity. 8-hour train journey, and then he assumed I was joking. It wasn't exactly to get laid, but it was kinda part of the plan. Pretended to be a diplomat from another nation. Got laid, plus free drink. Learned Spanish using Rosetta Stone. She asked me why was I trying to learn Spanish. I said so I can get to know you. 8 out of 10, would do it again. I went clubbing in my youth, and one night, I made up my mind to ask 25 women if they would like to have sex with me. I was very polite and somewhat neutral in my approach. I didn't try to convince any of them or get pushy about it. Number 11, though initially shocked by this blunt approach, thought it over and said yeah. That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.